Isn't it a wonder, really, how our ancestors, without any of our complex theories or academic jargon, could encapsulate the most profound truths of human nature into a story so simple a child could grasp it? These old tales aren't just bedtime stories. They are time capsules of wisdom, passed down through generations, waiting for us to unlock them and decode their meaning. We wrestle with giant concepts: time, happiness, loss, regret, and we fill libraries with books trying to pin them down. But sometimes, everything we need to know is waiting in a simple folk tale, like the story of a fisherman named Urashima Tarō. On the surface, it's a magical fable about a journey to an undersea kingdom. But if we listen closer, if we look deeper, we see it's not just a story about magic. It is a detailed map of the human soul, a profound lesson on our fragile relationship with the most precious and elusive thing we have: time. The story begins, as so many great things do, with a small act of kindness. Urashima Tarō, an ordinary fisherman, sees a group of children tormenting a small turtle on the beach. He doesn't look away. He steps in, uses his own money to buy the turtle's freedom, and returns it to the sea. This is not a throwaway detail. It is the very key that unlocks the entire narrative. Our ancestors were reminding us that the doorways to the most extraordinary worlds are often opened not by force or calculation, but by a selfless act of compassion. Compassion is a kind of cosmic currency, and Urashima's simple act created a credit he didn't even know he had. And so, the universe came to repay its debt. A massive turtle, an envoy from another world, appears and invites him to the Dragon Palace as a reward. This is that first moment of choice. Stay in the co-noun safe world, or embark on an adventure into the unknown. And like so many heroes of old, he chose to step into the mystery. And so, he arrives at the Dragon Palace. A true paradise. A castle of coral and pearl, feasts that never end, enchanting music, and the gentle company of the Princess Otohime. Most importantly, the Dragon Palace is a place with no clocks, no calendars, no tomorrows, and no yesterdays. It is a perpetual present tense of bliss. Here, time doesn't pass. It dissolves. 3 years go by. Yet to him, they feel like only 3 days. This is the first and most profound layer of wisdom the story offers us. Time is not an objective constant. It is a subjective experience, one that stretches and shrinks with our emotions. When we are happy, when we are completely lost in a moment, time seems to fly. A single evening with dear friends can vanish in the blink of an eye. But when we are in pain, or anxious, or bored, every second can feel like an eternity. This story, centuries before Einstein ever conceived of relativity, had already grasped this philosophical truth. The time on the clock and the time of the soul are two entirely different things. But the Dragon Palace is also a metaphor for something else, something more dangerous. It is the image of a utopia, a perfect paradise, a place without sickness, without aging, without worry, without loss. It sounds wonderful, doesn't it? But the story warns us of the price of such a paradise. By eliminating all suffering, the Dragon Palace also eliminates the very things that make us human. It removes the growth that comes from challenge. It removes the appreciation that comes from scarcity. It removes the natural law of birth aging, sickness, and death, the very cycle that gives meaning to each stage of our lives. Urashima Tarō doesn't get older, but he also doesn't get wiser. He simply exists in a static state of bliss. It's a question worth pondering. Is a life without shadow truly a full life? Does light even have meaning without the darkness to contrast it? The Dragon Palace, for all its splendor, is a gilded cage. It promises eternity, but it steals your life. And yet, even in paradise, the seed of humanity still sprouts. Urashima suddenly remembers his elderly parents, his village. The connection of family, of home, is stronger than the allure of a divine existence. This is a beautiful detail, an affirmation that no matter where we go or what wonders we experience, our roots, the relationships that shaped us, always have an invisible tether pulling us back. He decides to return. Princess Otohime, though heartbroken, does not stop him. Instead, she gives him a beautiful lacquer box, the Tamatebako, and offers a solemn warning. No matter what happens, you must never, ever open this. This warning is the tragic heart of the story. What does the box contain? It doesn't hold gold or jewels. It holds time itself, the 300 years of age Urashima had missed, compressed into a puff of smoke. The princess's warning wasn't a test, but a final act of mercy. She was giving him a choice. Live the rest of your new life in a state of sweet ignorance. Go on believing you are a young man, even as the world has changed around you. Do not confront the truth, because the truth will destroy you. The Tamatebako box is a symbol of the past, of the memories and consequences we try to run from. And when Urashima returns, the truth hits him like a tidal wave. His village is different. The people are strangers. No one recognizes him. His name is nothing but a legend. A story told by grandparents about a man who vanished into the sea 3 centuries ago. His 3 blissful days cost him 300 years of the world's time. His parents, his friends, everything he ever loved had long turned to dust. He wasn't just a stranger, he was an impossibility, a ghost walking out of a history book. This pain is something beyond death. It is the pain of absolute loneliness, the pain of being erased by the river of time itself. In a way, he had achieved the immortality we all dream of. He lived for 300 years without aging a day. But the story shows that immortality, when detached from those you love, is not a gift. It is a curse. It is a sentence to stand still and watch everything you've ever cared about wither and fade away. In the depths of his despair, Urashima does what any of us might do. He looks at the box, his last shred of hope. Maybe, he thinks, it holds a miracle. A way back to the Dragon Palace. An answer. He forgets the warning. Because when pain is that immense, the logic of a warning is meaningless against the screaming of the heart. He opens the box, and a plume of white smoke billows out. It wasn't poison, it was the tooth. It was 3 centuries of time crashing down upon his body in a single instant. His hair turns white, his skin wrinkles, his back stoops. He becomes what he truly is, a 300-year-old man. And then, his body, unable to withstand the shock, crumbles to dust. The act of opening the box was the act of accepting reality. And in this story, the reality was too much to survive. Urashima Taro's tale is more than a personal tragedy. It's a mirror, reflecting our own choices and our own fears. We all have our own dragon palaces, the places, habits, and relationships we escape to hide from the harshness of reality, to forget the ticking of the clock. It might be the endless scroll of our social media feeds, where we can curate a different life. It might be burying ourselves in deadlines at the office so we don't have to face the silence at home. It is a and y place where we feel time stands still, and the responsibilities of life are temporarily suspended. The story reminds us that for every moment we spend in that palace, the world outside keeps spinning. Opportunities pass, relationships fade, and our parents grow older. And each of us, uh, in our own way, is handed a Tamatebako box. It represents the truths we don't want to confront. It's that difficult conversation we keep putting off. It's that past mistake we try to bury. We know that opening it, facing the truth, will be painful, that it might change who we are. And so we keep it shut, hoping we can live forever in the safety of our ignorance. But the story shows that, sooner or later, we will have to face that white smoke. Lost time cannot be reclaimed. Consequences are inevitable. So, what is the wisdom our ancestors left for us here? Perhaps it isn't a command to never visit the Dragon Palace. Experiencing bliss, even temporarily, is a precious part of life. Perhaps it isn't an order to never open the box, because living a lie is its own kind of prison. Perhaps the real lesson lies in the balance. It is the ability to cherish our moments of happiness without losing our grip on reality. It is the courage to return from our own private paradises before it's too late. And it is the wisdom to know that no matter what the Tamatebako box contains, facing it, however painful, is better than living a whole life as a ghost, lost in your own timeline. Urashima Taro's story leaves us with a final, profound question, one that each of us must answer for ourselves. How long have you been in your dragon palace, and when will you decide to come home?